Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and DigPerspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $3.78 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off 5.9% at the moment. Bitcoin, 118,200 plus. Ethereum, 3,000 plus. XRP number 3 spot still sitting at 293. Now we're off 2.8 in the 24, and we're up 27.4% on the 7-day. Now we're at 172 billion plus market cap. Tether is at 159. So you see where we're at, and we'd have to lose quite a bit of market cap to drop back down to that number 4 spot. Hopefully we don't see it. We're at 281. Between $3 and 281 is the range of price right now. So you can see the XRP is definitely taking a bit of a breath as it is, but nonetheless, that's where we are. And now is a great time. And of any time, this is a great time. We're in crypto week. If you have not checked out xrpwealth589.com, what are you waiting for? Because the truth is I hold my assets in multiple different places that I trust, and I share them with you guys because that's where what I use. And this is one of them. And they have a flat fee, and they have amazing human customer service. Whether you want to speak to a technical issue or whether you want to speak to a prime broker, they have institutional grade custody for free, no hidden fees, no hidden spreads, and you cannot get this level of customer service anywhere else in the crypto space currently to date. That's why this is one of the safest places that I go with the best level of customer service. No question about it. Then right here, we look at this. Take a look. This is new right here from Eleanor Terrett. According to voting schedule sent by Majority Leader Steve Scalise last night, the House will hold a procedural vote this afternoon to establish the terms of floor debate for the Genius Clarity and anti-CBDC bills after they cleared the Rules Committee yesterday. Final passage votes are likely to follow tomorrow or Thursday. The committee granted by a recorded vote of 8-4, a ruling providing consideration for HR 46, all the different bills. You get the different bills. So they're going to be able to vote on them all at once here, at least the committee granted. So we'll see what that really falls down to. Hopefully it helps things move through quicker, and that would be really remarkable, especially for Congress. But I don't want to get too far out in front of my skis, but that's what we have right now. We'll keep following it. And then here is a clip from Eric Bokunis here. I want you to listen to what he says. Take a listen.
Tantrum into a comfortably bullish state of mind here. Let's hone in on the Bitcoin and Ether for a minute here. And since the rally has been all the news today, it's showing in the flows. I think the ETFs have been part of the rally. If you look, this shows the spot Bitcoin ETFs, and here's the spot Ether. So Ether's smaller, but definitely it's trending up. But look at the Bitcoin ETFs. They've taken in $50 billion since they came out. So they came out in January. They had 28 because GBTC was a conversion. Now, all the way up there, $155 billion in assets. IBIT, more than half. Now, the 20th biggest ETF overall, 7th biggest for BlackRock, and most profitable for BlackRock. So 300% return since the ETF was filed 2 years ago, Scarlett, and boom, what an explosion of growth.
Yeah, that chart really shows it all. Eric, thank you so much. Joining our conversation now is Sylvia Jablonski. She's CEO and
let me
CIO.
get this stopped right here, but that's what he's got to say, and the growth rate is really remarkable. And here we see Bitcoin and XRP futures see record activity according to CoinDesk, pointing to elevated price volatility. Meanwhile, Ethereum remains directionless, they say. That had to be hard for CoinDesk. While Solana has found new resistance. That's where we're at now. And I say Bitcoin and XRP see record growth as Ethereum remains directionless, but not for long, because I believe that it's going to be a mass exodus at some point off of Ethereum. I really do believe that. It's coming. Nate Garazzi has this to say. Vanguard, who has really said, you know what, we're staying away from crypto. But he says, besides that, I think Vanguard should allow brokerage access to crypto ETFs. Here are my 3 most strongly held beliefs on the category. BlackRock should absolutely file a spot XRP, Solana, etc. ETFs, crypto index ETF as well, protect their current crypto ETF leadership position. And 2, not too late for State Street, third largest ETF issuer, to enter the category. Honestly, don't understand the strategy here. Do they think they're somehow protecting gold ETFs by not participating in crypto ETFs? That's a great question. Schwab should file for launch spot crypto ETFs. Why give advantage to Fidelity, their primary competitor? See, I think this highlights a perfect scenario in the ETF world. As we can see, this will also unfold in the banking world for offering crypto services for payments and custody and DeFi. And when I'm looking at this, I'm saying this is that perfect moment where you're literally seeing the first mover advantage pan out for BlackRock. And if they continue to do that with XRP ETFs and others, it's going to keep them in the leadership position as all of this comes to market and unfolds, with everything becoming law in the very near term. Now, even more confidence behind the XRP ETF is Stephen McClurg from Canary Capital, was on stage at XRP Las Vegas. Shout out to you, Stephen.
Let's talk about XRP ETF filings with the SEC. Obviously, you guys are at the top of the list right there behind Bitwise, and it's looking pretty good. But the question is when? When do you think we're going to see these things take place? How do you feel like the SEC is pretty much loosened up enough to where we're going to see one of these get launched?
Well, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, there is a move right now for the framework for which ETFs will be allowed or which tokens will be allowed in an ETF and which ones aren't. I firmly believe that Ripple, is paving the way on a lot of other different things here. So, and obviously the connection with XRP. So I believe that XRP will be one of those tokens that will be in an ETF when all of this launches. There's a very clear court precedent now that's established. XRP is not a security. It will easily be moved into a 33 Act fund. And I actually believe out of all the ones that are pending, we already have Bitcoin, we already have Ethereum, but out of the pending ETFs, I think XRP is going to get the most traction and the most.
Why do you think that? I mean, what do you feel that institutional will understand what Ripple is up to, and that XRP is the driving fuel behind it, much like where Ethereum is to, stable coins?
Yeah, I mean, and the two that I'm really looking at, because they're the most popular, obviously, are Solana and XRP. So I do believe there's going to be a lot more of a retail push into Solana, but those people that are buying Solana at the retail level are more easily buying them on crypto exchanges. So I don't know if there's going to be as much flow on that side of things. Whereas on XRP, it's really rails for financial services. Yeah. So I believe that there's going to be a lot more of a financial advisor, a institutional type push here. So maybe out of the gate, it won't be as popular as Solana, but as time goes on, I do believe that XRP will probably have more AUM than even Ethereum.
Whoa. Now that's quite a statement. Shout out to you, Stephen. U.S. stablecoin legislation is going to set real USD free. That's exactly right. Take a listen.
And I think there's a lot of excitement also around RLUSD. A lot of the community members were talking about RLUSD. If we think about these stablecoins that, these large incumbents like USDT, USDC, they obviously have strong network effects, and we know strong network effects are something that's pretty, hard to beat, obviously.
That's exactly right. However, to add to his point, just like Stephen McClurg said, XRP set up for the institutional side. Guess what? So's real USD. Come on in. Evidence of that. Standard Charter has launched a new spot cryptocurrency trading service for institutional and corporate clients. That's fantastic. It does not express in the article anything about Ripple or XRP, but Bill Winters, the CEO of Standard Chartered, talked about it and how they used XRP 5 years ago. So it's going to be somewhere in the mix.
That digital currency can be used for cross-border trade. Going back 5 years, we had digital currency underpinned trade finance and money settlement systems, and using as a medium of exchange, using things like Ripple's XRP, for example.
Oh, okay. So just one more time with that.
Ripple's XRP, for example.
You know, what's interesting about this article is that they do talk about it's institutional grade access to their FX platform. Okay, then. It'll be fun to find out what that ends up being. Not to mention the fact that, I'm going to play something for you here in a minute. It's a clip from David Schwarz, and I think you're going to love it. Ripple secures strategic link to SWIFT, central banks, and World Economic Forum via key partnerships. We know about all of these partnerships and potential connections, right? We do. We know about all of these things. What we want to see is this right here, which is Eastnetss, that shows that Eastnetss ties in Ripple's DLT and other distributed ledger technologies, as well as Ripple's, directly to SWIFT. It's right there. I don't need to play it. There it is right there. And all of this has been done and connected. And what went live yesterday? ISO 20022. And just like we thought, nothing really happened with the price, because at the end of the day, we need the legislation to become law. That's what we need. And in fact, take a listen to what David Schwarz says about how banks, XRP doesn't really need a banks. Banks aren't really into it. Listen.
Banks, it's very sexy when you close a deal with the bank, and we do that sometimes, but they're very slow movers. They're very slow to execute. They're very conservative. They're never going to be Ripple success stories, and it's hard to get them to push the benefits down to their customers because that's risky for them, and then it highlights where they're inefficient. So we focused a lot on banks in the beginning just because a press release with a bank is a big thing, but we discovered they're just very slow to move. Like, if all they want is a press release, now we're like, hey, we want to actually move billions of dollars now. And they're like, yeah, we kind of don't.
Yeah, and it is true, right? It's absolutely true. But what I'll say this, look, and Roger Metz, this is old, do some research. Roger, we know it's old. Jesus. Get a clue, Roger. Nonetheless, who needs banks when you have been working with over 50 governments around the world? That's why legislation is so important. Banks will run into crypto after the government passes into law. No other way, or not the other way around. That's what's happening here. David's right. He's telling the truth. Banks are difficult to work with. They're not innovators. They don't want things to change. They make money on all the friction that is out here. That's why they don't want things to change. But I tell you what, the bottom ones do. The bottom ones want things to change, ladies and gentlemen. Now, where are we at right now with the charts? Because this is crypto week. And if you haven't seen the first video, it is possible that we could get more than just a stablecoin bill in the very near term. But we have to see a lot of movement from Congress to get it done. But the reality here is that whatever becomes law, we could see these stair step. Like if we get stablecoin legislation passed, that's the one that's furthest along, signed immediately by the president into law. I think that's going to cause a huge bump. Maybe that bump takes us to the first target of 650. Then maybe we get the other two bills, and as they drop, we get a chance to see the $20 to $35 range marks get hit on the Fibonacci. We don't know, but I tell you, it's just super exciting to be in this moment of time with each and every one of you. We've never left. We've been here every single day, and I do mean every single day. And we're going to continue to be here every single day until we land this plane. This is going to be one incredible, incredible ride. I love it. There's so much good in front of us. I can't wait to see it all unfold, and I know you can't either, but we're going to leave it there for now. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.